how I improve my English skill, especially my speaking skill. It's not something that I need to hide. I don't want to lie to you. Hello everyone, this is Meika. I'm a university student but also Japanese tutor on my own website. How are you doing? Today I would like to talk about my personal experience of improving my English. I think some of you don't know about me. I'm just gonna introduce myself a little bit. I was born and raised in the countryside of Japan. It's Nagasaki. I've never lived abroad. I just stayed here in Nagasaki. So how I improve my English skill, especially my speaking skill, might be a bit unique, but at the same time that's something everyone can do. As you know, there's no the right method that work for everyone, but I just wanted to know how I improved my English skill, and if there's something might help you or work for you, I would like you to try that. So that's the reason why I'm making this video right now. This video is divided into 3 sections. First, the pronunciation. Second, the speaking skill in general. And the third is the communication. If you want to skip first bit, or if you want to skip the third bit, you can just skip and then just watch whatever you want to watch. So like that. Okay, let's get started. First, I'm going to talk about the pronunciation. My pronunciation is not perfect yet, but I think it's way better than I used to sound like. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that a little bit. I don't want to lie to you. I'm majoring in English, so one of the first classes I ever took at my university was about the pronunciation. I remember that the teacher was a very amazing teacher. She's Japanese, but she knows what sound is difficult for Japanese, or how typical Japanese sound when they speak English. It's not something that I need to hide, and it's something that other textbooks also write about. So I'm just gonna briefly explain what I learned. First, it's about the pronunciation that Japanese doesn't have and English has. For example, a th sound, v, or else l, earl. Those sounds are very difficult for Japanese. Also, I learned about the linking. Linking is when you speak a sentence, you basically link words. For example, you don't say when I was young, you say when I was young. When and I are linked. That's called linking, and that happens all the time in English, but Japanese is very different. So if you're an English speaker, it's a very good thing to know that English does have linking and sounds that Japanese doesn't have. This knowledge could be useful for anyone watching this video. If you want to know more about it, just let me know in the comment. If there's a request, I would like to make a video about it. Linking and sounds that Japanese doesn't have actually helped me a lot to understand how English sounds. But it's not like everyone who took that class became able to pronounce it perfectly. Yeah, that's of course, right? And what I did after I took the class was just practice. Having the knowledge and actually being able to do those things that you learn are totally different things. So what I did was I took the passage from a random textbook and I just put where to link the words together, or the sounds that Japanese doesn't have, like a V and TH, so that I can recognize that I need to be careful of those. That's what I did. And after that, I just practiced again and again. Of course, I sounded very Japanese in the beginning. I remember that was 4 years ago. But now I'm getting better, I'm not perfect as I said, but I'm definitely getting better. If you don't actually use the sounds that you need to make in a foreign language, you won't be able to do that. So I actually used my mouth a lot. The more you practice, the more your mouth is used to it. Now at the end, you can pronounce the sounds that you didn't pronounce correctly. So yeah, practice makes perfect. And the second thing is my speaking skill in general. It is very difficult to speak your target language, especially that language is in a different language family. For example, English and Japanese are totally different. The alphabets are different. The pronunciations are different, the grammar structures are different. So it's actually very hard for me to put the sentence together and tell what I want to tell. But what I did in the beginning was to speak to myself. It sounds a bit weird, but when I started learning English, it was during the COVID pandemic. So everyone was wearing masks and I still needed to go to school. It takes 30 minutes on the way and 30 minutes on the way back. I just spoke to myself every day on the way. I didn't take the train or tram, but I chose to walk to school so that everyone else cannot hear what I'm saying. I just talked about what I'm going to do today, what I did today, and I love American TV shows. And I used to watch literally every day. So I just summarized like what I watched. That kind of thing, like could be anything. But it might be better if you summarize something that you watch in your target language, because you've heard in that language, it's way easier than translating into your second language. So that's my recommendation. In the beginning of your learning journey, the most important thing must be how long you use or how long you are exposed to the language. And it should be every day. It doesn't have to be, but it should be every day. That's the most difficult step to be level 1. That is the biggest gap, I believe. So like just listen to the podcast or watch YouTube, watch TV shows, and just speak to yourself. Those are very like easier things than like communicating with other people. So that's my recommendation, and that's what actually I did. Third thing is communication. I'm sure it depends on the person, but I'm very introvert, so I don't hesitate to talk to strangers or random people. So what I did in the beginning to make myself speak English was to go any events where I can use English, because I was born and raised in Japan, so my family doesn't speak English. So at home, I had no one to speak English to. So the only thing I could do was to go to events where I have to speak English. For example, I went to language exchanges, international bars, and also like I was teaching Japanese to foreigners who are living in Japan or doing internship in Japan. So that was very helpful. And also through that process, I learned a lot of expressions and phrases from native speakers speaking. So if you are able to speak a little bit about yourself, or if you can express what you want to say, the next step is gonna be going lots of places to speak English. That's about it. Today I talked about my personal experience and my recommendations to improve your second language skill. And I talked about 3 things. The first thing is about my pronunciation, and the second thing is about speaking skill in general, and the third thing is about the communication. Let's try those things that I said today. Maybe it doesn't work, who knows? Unless you try, you wouldn't know. So try, and if it works, just keep doing it. That's my suggestion. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe it and like this video. So, bye bye.